Trump has one shot, one opportunity.
So on this MAGA Kingdom Report special called Conspiracy or Truth, we're dealing with time travel. So here's a riddle for you folks. Figure it out. I'm a leader with hair that's golden crown. From a tower on Fifth, I look over the town. My name's in old tales with a boy who's named Near, guided by dawn through time's frontier. Some say I've got secrets from Tesla's lost lore, passed by an uncle through a mystical door. What am I? With time's threads I supposedly bend? A president, a traveler, or a myth without end? Who do you think I'm talking about? Let's take a look at some of the things that is out there on social media, things that make us go,
Down to the name Baron Trump and a leader named Don. It sounds impossible, but the connections are chilling. In 1893, author Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. It follows a boy named Baron Trump, a wealthy young man who goes on an adventure to a strange world beneath the earth, guided by a mysterious man named Don. But here's where it gets really weird. Lockwood also wrote another book called The Last President, published in 1896. The story, a wealthy outsider from New York becomes president, and his election causes mass protests and chaos. Even stranger, in the book, he lives in a luxury hotel on Fifth Avenue, just like Trump Tower. And get this, Donald Trump's youngest son is named Baron Trump. Are these just bizarre coincidences, or is this proof of time travel, parallel universes, or something even stranger? Tell me what you think in the comments.
So, are you intrigued yet? Let's hear what Joe Rogan has to say about this.
Elon is going to go to Mars. About a guy named Baron Trump, and his guru is named Don. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
His
feel like
mentor
I
is
saw
named
something
Don.
like this, and I was like,
Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey.
what is this? It's like an old...
It's a book from...
Who wrote it?
It is from 1893. Nearly forgotten, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey blends science fiction and fantasy in a story told by little Baron Trump, an aristocrat boy, there you go, that's what he is, who sets out from Castle Trump, which is where he lives, to discover a world within a world that he read about in a 15th century manuscript. Celebrated thinker in philosophy, he learned Spaniard Don from. Don, his guy Don, yeah. Joined Baron Trump and his faithful dog and companion Bulger. They set off at northern Russia in search of portals, so it's subterranean. But there's also the other thing, they go back to Castle Trump. There's the other thing about Wernher von Braun. So Wernher von Braun, who was the head of NASA, wrote a novel, a fictional novel about a guy named Elon that takes us to Mars. It's like parts of reality that don't seem real.
Yeah.
They seem like a wink, like an Easter egg. Every now and then the universe shows us something like this fucking Wernher von Braun book where you go, what? Even the name Elon and Mars, like what are the fucking odds? And then it turns out that Elon was actually named by his father when his father read that book, which is even crazier.
Yeah.
What is the odds your son is going to be the guy who goes to fucking Mars?
Crazy, right? Wow, we're really going down this rabbit hole. So not only do we have a book from 1893 that's named after Baron Trump, who has a guru who's named Don, and they happen to live in a skyscraper on Fifth Avenue, but we also hear about Elon, who goes to Mars. This is fascinating. Let's take a look at one more to really get us enveloped.
All starts with Nikola Tesla. When Tesla died in 1943, he left behind over 80 trunks of secret invention, strange blueprints and futuristic theory. The U.S. government rushed to seize it all. But the man they sent? John G. Trump, an MIT physicist and Donald Trump's uncle. Some believe John didn't just examine Tesla's work. He took something among Tesla's claims. He figured out how to bend time. The theory says John G. Trump used this to build a time machine, and that the Trump family has been using it ever since. Then there's this, a book from 1893, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. The main character, a boy named Baron Trump, who travels through portals in time. Same name, same spelling, same strange theme. This can't be a coincidence. What are they hiding from us? The truth is right in front of us and we can't see it. You may not believe it, but it makes you think. Not everything is what it seems. Send this to your friend who still believes in Make America Great Again.
It's all very fascinating, I'm sure. But I think what we need to know is how much of this is really true. And I think we can only find this out by actually hearing President Trump's own words. So let's take a look.
Crazy is it that you're working with? Can you just roll this?
Let me put this back on.
This is just a personal thing. How crazy is it that you are working with Elon Musk, today's Tesla?
Yeah, absolutely.
And when Tesla died, it was your genius uncle that was sent to try to figure out what papers should be kept. And
Isn't it great?
How crazy
Well,
is that?
actually, so my uncle was a great, brilliant man, my father's brother. My father was working very hard to put my uncle through MIT and all that. And when my uncle graduated, he was so brilliant that MIT said, why don't you stay here, become a professor?
It's crazy.
Which is pretty good. He 3 different degrees.
Yeah.
It really was amazing. But as he went through life, he was very successful as a professor at MIT, but he was also very successful at other things, like discovering genius things. And the United States government gave him an assignment of finding out whether or not Mr. Tesla was the real deal, or was he not the real deal? In other words, was he really great, or was he just an average guy? And my uncle did a report on it, and you know what was nice? He said he was really great. A lot of people in that position would be jealous.
Yeah.
But he actually said he was great.
And here you are working with today's Tesla.
That's right.
That's so
right.
great.
And Elon's a great guy, too.
Yeah.
Great
Okay.
guy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You bet.
Here you have it, folks. Here you have President Trump with Glenn Beck himself and having this conversation. So what do we know? We know that his uncle was, in fact, brilliant. John Trump was a graduate from MIT. He was hired by the government to be able to go through Tesla's papers. And it's interesting because there is a definite story here, but I think that we need to do our own research. And I think the question we have to ask ourselves is, ultimately, is it conspiracy or is it truth? You decide, and we'll see you next time.
And now, we the people joking now. The clock's run out. Time's up.